Hikaru tries to defend, but nobody converts small advantages like the Norwegian world
No,
champion.
he's OP in those
He's
positions.
OP. Isn't OG a thing that the Twitch chat says? OP? OP is overpowering. That sounds like something
Yes,
that
overpowered. Like when
overpowered.
someone's too strong, they have to be nerfed. They need to
I'm
change the
sorry,
game
I
to
don't
balance it.
speak as fluent of the of cool kid language. I've never been a cool kid. All right,
You have time, Danny.
I have time. You know what? It's never too late.
That's what we all tell ourselves
That's
as
what we
chess
all tell
players.
ourselves. Right? That's right. All right. Well, we have a another not London, but sort of the similar in the sense that it's a very solid structure for white and kind of a flexible approach.
Well, how is Hikaru going to rebound from that? Because that was a very depressing game if you think about it. He was suffering. He traded a lot of pieces off. He was playing pretty well, but he just couldn't keep up at the end. I mean, he was down on time and just getting squeezed in. Like that, whatever opening it was last game, he can't repeat that. He was never equal, and that's a problem. That's a problem. Danny, we're getting close. You know, we're at around 32,000. I'm getting excited.
32,000 live viewers on Twitch. Thanks to everybody who's here. Thanks to all the support. Let's get to number one, everybody. Tell your friends the Speed Chess Championship is live, and it's a close match. We are 42 minutes left in the 5-minute portion, and currently a 1-game lead for the favorite, the world champion. But okay, we've got another interesting dynamic position. You talked about how
Queen
these
D5.
imbalances would be what Hikaru wants. I mean, you've got the bishop pair for white, the G
You got the G file. Yeah.
I mean, this is
we
the
both
kind
we
of,
both.
right? Yeah. It's the kind of attacking position that Hikaru wants, at least as far as imbalances that don't allow Magnus to do what he just did last game. If you're just joining us, Magnus winning in a classic grind it all night fashion. So
This is for sure dynamic. I like what Magnus just did because it makes it a little harder for white to play moves like Rook G1 when the H and the F pawn are being tickled. But yeah, F4 is a move you often want to play here. Challenge E5, accentuate your diagonal from B2 to G7.
Yep.
He might still play, by the way, Rook G1 and even sacrifice that pawn to get both the G and the H files open, especially now that Black is committed to castling.
Yeah, you know I want that, right? Let's do it, right?
So I would be open to playing Rook G1. Magnus is the one to avoid the repetition there. So that means he likes his position there because he doesn't believe there's a big attack, and he's going to be playing moves like Rook D8. He's going to try to expand a bit, and he's like, well, your king on E2 is going to be a target. But right now, Hikaru's achieved sort of the proper setup here. Bishop on F3 covers all the light square checks. It's going to bring a rook to the D file.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like white's going to get much on the G file if that dark square bishop is traded. Unfortunate for
That's very important to get rid of the bishop pair.
Yeah.
So bishop takes B2, queen takes, and you know that knight on E4 is very good right now, but watch out. There's a C3 check that might be in the air at some point. I think Magnus may move the knight away from C6 and try to generate some threats on the C file. If this was an endgame with the queens off, it could be quite promising for white. One thing is he's got all the pawns in the right color. There's bishop on F3. There's going to be some light squared issues for black. Knight C5, bishop on F3 puts pressure on the diagonal. But right now, still a lot of possibilities because the queens and heavy pieces are on the board.
Yeah, this king on E2 feels safe as long as everybody kind of stays put. But you all in Blitz 2, it's just so hard to play those positions where you're one blunder away from your king being in trouble, right?
I just noticed something, Danny. Watch out for knight G6, knight takes F4 as a piece sacrifice.
That's what he's doing.
Knight G6
he's creeping.
With knight takes F4 or maybe knight H4 and disrupting white's solid setup here. I really like this move if that's what he's aiming for. Knight G6, knight F4. It's the right time to do a piece sacrifice with all of his other all his pieces are in position.
And again, you say from a blitz perspective, Hikaru needs these types of aggressive, dynamic positions. But how hard is it in blitz to play a position with your king in the center where you have to be so accurate for the rest of the game because of the dangers there?
Mm-hmm. No, and it's showing that his queen on h6, he avoided the repetition, kept the queens on the board.
Yep.
And with purpose. It wasn't clear immediately. Are we going to see knight f5 or again knight g6? But the sacrifice could be annoying. He doesn't have to, but it's something good. I'd be afraid of. I'd be afraid of that.
I mean, I don't even care if it wins on the spot. It's just so scary to allow. I mean, in a line like this, everybody, black gets 2 pawns and a check, followed by infiltration on the d file, and this king is forever in danger. Shout out to Jack, great 83. Thanks for the sub, man. All right, here it comes.
G6. Here it comes. Are we going to see that? Like, you want to get pieces off the board as white here, but where? Is it going to be rook c1? Not right now. Knight f4 would win if rook c1. This is knight g5, knight f4. No, I'm not seeing it, Danny. Rook g4, f5. No.
Yeah, no, he's
This is we need him. Okay, he's gone rook g6.
He plays the exact line I was just saying might happen.
To play the king on f1 maybe.
Yeah, he wants the idea, everybody, is that stops the queen from taking here with check. So then if Magnus does go for a line like this, at the very least the king can come to f1.
You still might have a sacrifice here. He's calculating that.
I still think that black he's on the prowl.
Would you do it, Danny? It's so tempting. It's one of those moves your hand just gravitates toward it, even though you haven't calculated it.
This is the way we saw Magnus play against Hikaru last year, everybody. If you missed the first ever Speed Chess Championship final, this is a rematch, and Carlsen doing what he did again. Turns these equal positions into chances to win either as white or black. He's just sitting tight here.
At the same time?
He's sort of, it almost like the threat is more powerful than the execution, keeping an eye on f4.
So we're still calculating it, but the king can go to f1, and the rook is protected by the bishop on f3. So I'm still not seeing that clean move right now here. Knight c3 check loses. The queen takes c3.
Does it though? Rook takes c3, rook takes d8, knight f8. Can you play that?
Oh, that's right. There is knight f8. Is there any? Is that what he's? Well, that's what he's allowing. I assumed Hikaru set that up as a trap, but you're right. Maybe Magnus is going to test him out there.
Yeah, I mean, if knight f8, it seems like black is. Because there's no immediate follow-up to come after f8, so I'm not sure if Hikaru maybe blundered that. Magnus might say, I need your boots, I need your clothes, I need your motorcycle, and I'm going to checkmate you. Knight c3 check. Here it comes. I think he'll go for it. It looks like he's calculating it.
Yeah.
Let's look at that again.
Hikaru played it so confidently. I just assumed it was one of those basic tactics.
He'll probably gobble b7 at the end of the line. I mean, but still, it's...
There's some issues with rook c2 check as well.
And even just h6, kick the knight back from g5. By the way, it's pinned to the rook on d8.
That's a problem.
Yeah, I think Magnus...
I'm not used to knight on g6 that it actually can drop back to f8.
Yeah. No, it's
he's taking a lot of time.
It's against the Russian schoolboy way. That's why you don't put your knight there. You're a good Russian schoolboy, despite being from Canada. Is there a Canadian chess school, by the way?
We're developing it right now.
You are. Yeah. I'm looking at it, right?
Yeah. We're working on it.
All right. Well, Magnus has taken a lot of time. So he eventually goes for this, which I think we agree. It seems like Hikaru maybe blundered this move, and Magnus. I mean,
is there an f5 or something? There's a rook g4, queen h6, and the queen has a path back to freedom with
f6 and
queen f6 and rook c2 and queen b2.
I guess take b7 because there's no h6 anymore.
If you take b7, is that really what he wants? Because everything's going to be loose there. I can take on a3. I still have the a2 check. It's not the light squares that are the issue. It's somehow using this pin to your advantage.
So he's
maybe
trying
knight
to get
c5,
this knight to c5 and d7 ASAP to try to take advantage of f8.
Yeah, and now I'm expecting. If king f1, queen takes h3. Wait a second here. This is a problem.
Is lights out. He has to go to.
But this is the most obvious move to anticipate. So what if king d8, rook a2? But if king d1, rook a2, your king is not where it should be.
Yeah, I don't think he has a choice though. I think he has to play with like knight d2.
Rook d2, knight. You probably rook d2 because you don't want to just pin yourself. But now even
Okay, but
So
here
first of all,
comes
queen takes
F5.
h3, there's knight f6 check. That's how you lose the game. You don't want to be a pawn grabber in this
I was
situation.
going to say Bueller.
F5
F5 is
is
just winning on the spot.
yeah.
I'm like, Forktown. Yeah, no, F5 is over.
I can't
Frustrating.
dispute that.
Yeah, it's frustrating if you're.
But this didn't feel like it was. It feels like it was simply a blunder, right, Danny?
Yeah.
Allowing this entire thing, there was no
Well,
clear follow up for
honestly, I think it
Hikaru.
might have just been what you said. It's a quick calculation to allow knight c3 because you're used to the back rank tricks, but you forget that this pony can come to g6, and so instant replay style, we can see that. I think Hikaru just flat out blundered that knight f8 was possible.
It's funny. Sometimes when people play a much higher rated player, they believe their moves even if they blunder, right? When they allow a tactic like that. But it's Magnus who's confident against anyone. So he just, he double checks every single.
Yep.
You offer a tactic, he's going to trust himself.
Hikaru's still trying for something. You see,
he has a piece for a queen. This is just resignable. Queen. Yeah. No. This is.
And he does just that. Well, we have our first separation, if you will, in the match, right? You have a 2-game lead now for Magnus Carlsen, the biggest of the day. If you're